Welcome to another video. In this video, we're still going to look at how we evaluate functions, but specifically rational functions, right? So these functions are written as fraction. So the first example I have here, given that g of x is equal to 2x minus 3, all divided by 4, find the value of g of 2. So we know that g of x is equal to 2x minus 3 all divided by 4, and we're asked to find g of 2. Now remember that 2 is the input value, so wherever we see x, we're going to replace it with 2. So g of 2 is going to equal to 2, open bracket, replace x with 2, close bracket, minus 3, all of that divided by 4. All we need to do is to simplify. So all we need to do is to simplify. So 2 times 2, that's going to give us 4. Minus 3, all divided by 4. And that is going to leave us with a final answer of 4 minus 3, that's just 1, over 4. So therefore, g of 2 is equal to a quarter. Now we are also asked to find g of minus 5. So g of minus 5 is going to equal to 2. We're going to open a bracket, and where we see x, we're going to replace it with minus 5. So it's going to be minus 5 minus 3, all of that divided by 4. And then we simplify our answer, and we're finished. So 2 times negative 5, that's going to give us negative 10 minus 3 all over 4. And if we simplify our numerator, negative 10 minus 5, that's just negative 13 over 4. So therefore, g of minus 5 is equal to negative 13 over 4. So now we are asked to find g of a quarter. So we're going to write g of a quarter. So g of a quarter is going to equal to 2 times, instead of putting back x, we're going to replace x with a quarter. Minus 3, all of that divided by 4. Now all we need to do is to simplify this. So 2 times a quarter, that's just going to give us a half. Minus 3 divided by 4. Alright? Now we need to simplify our numerator. So a half minus 3, that's just negative 5 over 2. And all of that is to be divided by our denominator here, 4. So I'm just going to put this division bar here at the side, divided by 4. And remember that 4 is the same thing as 4 over 1. So when you are dividing two fractions, then this is going to equal to negative 5 over 2. Change the division sign to multiplication and invert your last fraction so it becomes 1 over 4. And when we simplify this, our answer, we're going to take -5 to multiply 1, and that's going to give us -5. And we're going to take 2 to multiply 4, and that's going to give us 8. So the final answer is -5/8. So therefore, g of a quarter is equal to -5/8. Now we are also asked to find g of 3/4. So we want to find g of 3/4. G of 3/4 is going to equal to 2, replace x with 3/4. So it's going to be 2 times 3/4 minus 3, and all of that over 4. Then what we're going to do, we're going to simplify our numerator. So 2 times 3/4, that's going to give us 3/2 minus 3. Remember that this 3 is the same thing as 3/1. Right? I'm going to put all my numerator in a bracket. I'm going to put this division bar at the side. I'm going to put the 4 here. So I'll just rewrite the question there. Alright? To show that I'm going to simplify my numerator first. So here, 3/2 minus 3/1, that's just going to be -3/2. Remember, dividing by 4 is the same thing as saying dividing by 4/1. So here, I'm going to change my division sign to multiplication. And I'm going to invert this fraction so it becomes 1/4. And to finish this question, all you need to do is to multiply numerator by numerator and denominator by denominator. So -3 times 1, that gives me -3. Over 2 times 4, that gives me 8. So therefore, g of 3/4 is equal to -3/8. Alright? Now, example 2, given that h of x is equal to 2x plus 5 all divided by x minus 3, find the value of h of 4. So we know we want to find the value of h of 4. So therefore, h of 4 is going to equal to 2. Instead of writing back x, we're going to replace x with 4. So it's going to be 4. Remember to use up your brackets. Plus 5 all over x minus 3. But instead of writing back x, we're going to replace x with 4. So it's going to become 4 minus 3. All we need to do is to simplify this and we're finished. So 2 times 4, that's going to give us 8. And 8 plus 5, that's going to give us 13. And here, 4 minus 3, that's just 1. So our answer is 13/1, or just 13. Alright? So therefore, h of 4 is equal to 13. We're also asked to find h of -2. So we want to find h of -2. So h of -2 is going to equal to 2, open bracket, replace x with -2, so it's going to be -2, close your bracket, plus 5, all of that divided by x minus 3, where you see x, replace it with -2, so it's going to become -2 minus 3. all you need to do is to simplify and you're finished. So 2 times negative 2, that's going to give us negative 4. Negative 4 plus 5, that's what's going to give us 1. And negative 2 minus 3, that's going to give us negative 5. So therefore, h of negative 2 is equal to negative 1/5. We're also asked to find h of 0. So h of 0 is going to equal to 2 times 0 plus 5, all of this divided by 0 minus 3. And when you simplify this, 2 times 0, that's a 0, plus 5, that's just 5. And 0 minus 3, that's just negative 3. So therefore, h of 0 is equal to negative 5/3. We're also asked to find, so we're also asked to find h of 1/2. So h of 1/2 is going to equal to 2 times 1/2 plus 5, all of that divided by x minus 3. But instead of putting by x, we're going to replace x with 1/2, so it's going to be 1/2 minus 3. Now, the best way to approach this question is to rewrite the question, right? So if we rewrite the question, what we're going to have is a bracket, and we're going to have 2 times 1/2 plus 5 as our numerator here, and we put it in our bracket, right? Remember that this bar means divide, so we're going to put it at the side here. So this is just divide. I'm going to open another bracket. I'm going to put the denominator in a bracket. So it's going to be 1/2 minus 3. So remember, all I did in this step was just to rewrite this problem. So now I'm going to solve what's inside both brackets. Alright? And then divide. So this is our numerator here. So 2 times 1/2, that's just 1. And 1 plus 5, that's just going to give us 6. Keep my division sign. Here I have 1/2 minus 3. Remember that 3 here is just the same thing as 3 over 1. So 1/2 minus 3, that's just going to leave us with minus 5 over 2. Right? So if we're dividing, if we have 6 divided by 5 over 2, remember that 6 is the same thing as 6 over 1. So the rule is, we're going to keep our first fraction, so it's going to be 6 over 1. Change the division sign to multiplication. And then we're going to invert the last fraction, so it becomes 2 over minus 5. At this stage, what you need to do is to just multiply numerator by numerator and denominator by denominator, and you're finished. So 6 times 2, that's going to give us 12. And 1 times 5, that's going to give us negative 5. So therefore, h of a half is equal to negative 12 over 5. Now to question number 5, it says, find the value of x for which h of x is equal to negative 1. Now remember, here we have h of x is equal to 2x plus 5 all divided by x minus 3. So now they give us the range and they are asking us to find the domain value. So what we're going to do is to just equate these together. So we're going to equate 2x plus 5 all over x minus 3 to 1. Alright? And then solve for x. So what we will have when we have h of x equal 1 and we're asked to find x, then we're going to take the function h of x, which is 2x plus 5 all divided by x minus 3. So I'm going to take 2x plus 5 all over x minus 3 is equal to 1. Now we need to solve for x. Now we want to get rid of this fraction. So here we can multiply both sides by the denominator, which is x minus 3. So we're going to multiply this side by x minus 3. And we're also going to multiply this side by x minus 3. The reason for this, it helps us to get rid of the fraction. So x minus 3 here is going to cancel out. So x minus 3 here will cancel out x minus 3 in the denominator. So what we left back with on this side is just 2x plus 5 is equal to 1 times x minus 3. And 1 times anything gives it back itself. So therefore 1 times x minus 3 is going to give us back x minus 3. And then what we need to do is to group all the like terms and then solve. So here I want my x term to be on the left, which means that the focus is this 1x. How can I make it 0 on this side? Because it is positive x, I can subtract x from both sides. So what I'm going to do is to subtract x from this side. And I'm also going to subtract x from this side as well. So if I subtract x from both sides, here I have 2x minus this x. That's what's going to leave me with x. And I still have plus 5 on this side, which is equal to x minus this x. Those are going to cancel out. So what I left back with on this side is just minus 3. In order to get x by itself, I need to get rid of this positive 5. So I'm going to subtract 5 from both sides. So I'm going to subtract 5 from this side. And I'm also going to subtract 5 from this side. So clearly here, positive 5 minus 5, that's a 0. So what I'm left back with is just x on this side. It's going to equal to negative 3 minus 5. That's what's going to give me negative 8. Alright? So therefore, when h of x is equal to 1, then x is equal to negative 8. And remember that h of x is just y here. Alright? Now, now we want to find the value of x for which h of x is now equal to -5. So we're going to take 2x plus 5, all of that divided by x minus 3. And we're just going to equate that to -5. And then solve. Again, we want to get rid of this fraction. So all I'm going to do is to multiply both sides by the denominator. So I'm going to multiply this side here by the denominator, which is x minus 3. And I'm going to do the same thing to this side. So multiply by the denominator, which is x minus 3. Now here, x minus 3 will cancel out x minus 3. So x minus 3 will cancel out x minus 3. So what I'm left back with is just 2x plus 5 equal to, here I'm going to take this minus 5 to distribute to each term inside of the bracket, meaning that I'm taking what is outside of the bracket to multiply each term. So -5 times x, that's going to give me -5x. And -5 times -3, that's going to give me positive 15. Right? So here at this stage, I need to group the like terms, right? So I want the x's on the left hand side, which means that the focus is this minus 5x. So how can I get minus 5x to be 0 on this side? I can add 5x to both sides. So I'm going to add 5x to this side. But remember, whatever I do to one side, I must do it to the next. So I also have to add 5x to this side as well. Now here, by adding 5x to both sides, clearly minus 5x here is going to cancel out this positive 5x. So I'll just leave me back with 15 on this side. I am just going to go ahead and combine this. So here I have 2x plus 5x. That's just 7x. I still have my plus 5 on this side, so I write it back. And now this is going to equal to the 15 that I have left on this side. Now remember that I'm solving for x, so I need to get rid of this plus 5. So how can I make this plus 5 become 0 on this side? All I need to do is to subtract 5 from both sides. So I'm going to subtract 5 from this side. And because I subtract 5 from this side, I also have to subtract 5 from this side as well. Now, clearly, here you can see that positive 5 minus 5, that's a 0. So in other words, these are just going to cancel out. Right? So what I left back with, and the left hand side is just 7x. Is going to equal to 15 minus 5, that just leaves me with 10. Now, in order to get x by itself, I need to get rid of this 7. This 7 is multiplying the x. So one way to get rid of it is to just divide both sides by 7. So I'm going to divide this side by 7. I'm also going to divide this side by 7. So clearly here, you can see that 7 will cancel out 7 here, leaving back with just x is going to equal to 10 over 7. So therefore, when h of x is equal to -5, x is equal to 10/7. Alright? So our last question now. Determine the value of x for which h of x is undefined. Now, when something is undefined, that is when you are dividing by 0. So what this question is asking is for the value of x. When you substitute into this equation, it will make the denominator equal 0. So therefore, one way of doing it is to just take the denominator, which is x minus 3, and equate it to 0. Right? And then solve for x. So to solve for x, I need to get rid of this minus 3. I'm just going to add 3 to both sides. So I'm going to add 3 to this side, and I'm also going to add 3 to this side. So clearly here, minus 3 plus 3, that's going to cancel out. So what I left back with is just x is going to equal to 0 plus 3. That's just going to give me positive 3. So therefore, the value of x for which h of x is undefined is going to be positive 3. And you can test it. If you replace this x with positive 3, then 3 minus 3, that's 0. And we know that we cannot divide by 0, right?